First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How did they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. I got a great video coming your way today in regards to how to deal with other departments. And again, this is going to be from a custody perspective, but I would love the comments that also show things from the other side, the civilian perspective. And if you stay towards the end of the video, I'm going to have a bonus video from Russ in regards to some material that he's going to release, a series of videos that can help us be more effective at our job. And I'm looking forward to seeing these series of videos. So don't forget, guys, after I do this video, stay to the end because I'm going to do a bonus video from Russ. And that's going to tell you about a series of videos that he has coming out. So guys, if you haven't, to show Tier Talks for you, brave men and women that work that front line in correction. So please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's notify you every time I post up a video. Guys, right now we're over 7,000 subscribers and growing, which is great. I think we're at 7,065 at the point of doing this video. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about dealing with other departments. I'm going to get a little personal with this because I'm going to use my experience to tell my story, and hopefully it provides you with a lot of information that you can utilize in case you decide to take the same routes I have. And stay tuned for Russ's video at the end of the completion of my video. And stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to my sponsor. You know, when I entered corrections, I knew that this was going to be a career. And I think a big reason why I knew it was I didn't want to go through an academy again. And I wasn't going to go through this academy without knowing that if I'm going to put myself through this, it better be for something good. And then obviously the 25 years and out was always a good motivator to be in a profession like this. But right off the get-go, when I entered this field, I wanted to learn as much as I could right from the get-go. Now, a big portion of it is, of course, you know, my personal role, you know, in regards to how to keep the facility safe and secure, what I'm personally responsible for. And again, that could vary from post to post, but I really wanted to know my job. But then I started realizing a few days in that I also have to know a little bit about the other people's jobs from other departments, the people that may be representing the civilian side of things, because I have to interact with them. So in order for me to know if what they're doing is correct, I need to know a little bit about what they're doing, because at the end of the day, when people come to visit a housing unit and they have questions that they want answered, they go to the officer, because the officer is in a position to answer most of those questions. And if they don't know, they should be in a position to know where those questions can be answered. So for example, if I had someone from social services wanting to come into my unit, of course they have to, for whatever reason. I still want to know who that person is, why they want to come in the unit, what program are they running, what's that program about, just out of curiosity. Who do you need to see? And again, I think that's great too, because again, I think we are the definition of community policing, and we have a lot of resources. So when we're walking a unit and we notice that maybe there's a problem with a certain inmate, it's pretty good for us to know exactly where those resources are that we can help best reach that inmate, if you will. So if by knowing certain programs that are offered in my unit or just offered in general, I'll know exactly where I can send an inmate if they have concerns that we feel need to be addressed just on a one-to-one. And again, sometimes it happens, guys. You know, we're having interactions with these inmates. You know that. So again, referring them should be within our job role. You know, if an inmate has a concern, you know, making sure that those concerns are met, that's within our prescribed role. How it's met, we'll leave that to the experts. But definitely it's good for us to know where we can meet those concerns. So knowing a big portion of what the other professionals do, the civilian staff, was it was needed. Because don't forget, guys, as I decided to move up, I started seeing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture really gets to dealing with those departments. It's just when you're an officer, you may only deal with frontline representatives of that department. But as you start to move up, you start to deal with higher level, like as a frontline supervisor. If I have a concern, I may go to their frontline supervisor. And then when you cross into the administrative end, now you're dealing with it as a department in general. You know, because again, it's about those policies and procedures and how they interact with other policies and procedures from other departments. But either way, I always gave respect to my civilian staff, because right from the get-go, I know we have a mission. And I know I'm a part of that mission, but I'm not the sole part of that mission. And again, I also know in order for me to succeed at some parts of my mission, I need to interact with those civilian employees. So sometimes I need to understand what it is that they need to accomplish, but they also need to understand how we can go about and get it done. And I honestly feel that there's nothing that these professionals can't accomplish as long as we're on the same page. As long as we have respect for each other's responsibility, there's nothing that we cannot accomplish together. I truly believe that, and I see it more so at the higher level than I did at the front line. But again, guys, knowing that I was going to make this a career and knowing that I wanted to move up, the knowledge I was able to get at that front line has been extremely valuable to me as I moved up. Because when I got to that high position, the position I'm in now, I wasn't a complete stranger to the needs of the departments, and also to how these departments can work together as one to fulfill those needs. So I guess just when it comes to dealing with the different departments, be open to seeing what they have to get done and be a part of trying to facilitate that, working together. Do not work in isolation of each other. We don't work in isolated departments. We work as a team. And at the end of the day, the frontline people are the ones that make it happen. So it's their interactions with the other frontline employees that really keep the machine going. And if I have custody isolated from programming, isolated from medical, isolated from maintenance, isolated from everything, and the other departments isolated from each other, there is no way to get this mission done. Because I can't tell you how many times in my career that I've realized that, man, we do need each other. Because there's no way we can do this alone. There's no way one department can say we're solely responsible for the mission of the agency. You can't. So again, my advice is listen to their perspective. And again, I like to hear the civilian side of things. My perspective is from custody, obviously. Have respect for each other's mission. Learn to work together and take advantage. If you're on the front line and you're looking to move up, take advantage of what you can learn at the front line. Because trust me, whatever you learn could have tremendous value as you decide to move up. And one day you may find yourself in charge of facilitating these connections. And it would be great if at one point in your career you were one of the facilitators. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. And guys, I have a video from Russ. What do you got, Russ?
Hey there, Tear Talk fans, as well as my Keepers of Chaos. Anyway, bringing you a short little video. Had a response, or rather really a request from CKES on doing something with regard to training in the way of report writing. And, you know, at first I was kind of like, I don't know, man, doing training, report writing, video format, it just doesn't seem like something that might go over well. But then I got thinking about it a little bit more and started considering it. And here's really the thing, is a lot of times when you take a report writing course and stuff, it's dry and dull, and about the time the instructor says, well, you know, you need to be writing in the third person, past tense, active voice, that's when everybody falls asleep, right? So anyway, I decided that I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try and break it down into 4 or 5 short little lessons of, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes tops. And we're going to see if that works out and see if that will give, especially some of these younger staff that really haven't dealt with some of this stuff, a way to understand what's really needed and required of them. Because sometimes they just don't get the feedback that they need. And I think that along the way, I'll also be able to present a few things that you can do in your reports to protect you from a professional standpoint especially with regards to things like use of force and that sort of thing, being able to justify it. So anyway, that's what I've got for you right now. I'm going to hand this off to Anthony, see what he thinks about the idea, and then maybe I can churn those 4 or 5 out and release them over maybe 4 or 5 days, or maybe just all at once. We'll see what Anthony wants to do on that. Anyway, everyone, take care, stay safe. Be seeing you around Tier Talk and or Keepers of Chaos. Goodbye.